Argano Audit and Security Manager bridges the gaps in the generation of audit reporting and management of security for Microsoft D365 finance and supply chain. Organizations who leverage Audit and Security Manager will experience benefits like reducing security deployment times, reducing key staff involvement in those deployments, complete and accurate audit reporting, and the ability to more easily meet compliance and regulatory environment requirements. Audit and Security Manager functionality can be broken up into three main groups. The first, security and user management. Security and user management is all about providing IT personnel and business analysts with the tools they need to more easily and efficiently manage security roles and user role assignments. The second major group is segregation of duties and sensitive access reporting. These functionalities are all about identifying where access may be misprovisioned or over-provisioned and helping you make business decisions to resolve those issues. The third and final grouping is tracking and audit trail. Tracking and audit trail empowers organizations to maintain accountability over users with privileged access, like system administrators, and also to track sensitive data for their organization. The first feature that we're going to look at in today's demo is the assignment of temporary roles to users. Temporary user role assignment allows us to assign roles to users for fixed periods of time. The most common use case for this is when we, of course, have a user who goes on PTO and we need someone else to backfill for them. In order to set up this assignment, all we do is select the user who is going to be backfilling. So in this case, we'll say Brooke, and we're going to click this Assign Roles button. Now we have two options from here. We can either select the roles to assign to Brooke a la carte, or we can filter for the user who Brooke is filling in for, and then assign the roles that way. So in this case, we'll say that Brooke is filling in for Alicia. I'll select Alicia. The role list will filter to Alicia's roles. We then set a validity period. So we'll do the long weekend here, all of next week. And then we set a reason, Alicia's PTO. Click OK. And that's it. So now we can see a summary of the roles that are being assigned to Brooke for Alicia's PTO and the dates that they will be assigned. In the spirit of user role assignments, Audit and Security Manager comes complete with a user changelog. The user changelog automatically captures any changes made to the user records. This includes things like when roles are assigned or removed, when legal entity designations for those roles are assigned or removed, when users are imported or deleted from the system, as well as when users are enabled or disabled from the system. And it's important to point out that this log captures these things automatically. There's no configuration required. The next feature that we're going to look at is segregation of duties. In Audit and Security Manager, we provide a list of out-of-box segregation of duty rules along with our product. This is a list of rules that we have curated over time working with different organizations in different industries, as well as both private and public companies. For this demo, I'm going to pick a pretty common one, the ability to create a customer and maintain the customer payment journal. In this case, we don't want someone maintaining a fake customer and then paying that customer. So we want to check where folks might be able to do both of those things, both create a customer and then also create a payment for that customer. The setup is really straightforward. What we do is we identify the menu items related to both of these functions and set them down here along with their respective access level. Once that setup is complete, we click the check rule button here in the top, click OK. And once it's executed, we can view the conflicts. We'll take the first row for our example here. We have the user Arnie, who has the accounts receivable manager role. That role has the ability to create a customer, and he has the accounts receivable payments clerk role assigned as well, which has access to maintain the payment journal. So right there, that's our segregation of duty conflict. If we wanted to remediate this conflict, we have all the information we need to do so right here. In addition to the conflict summary, we also provide some additional details like when the violation was found and what the status of the conflict is. This allows you to show auditors that you are proactively checking your segregation of duties rules as well as also remediating them. Final feature that we're going to cover in today's demo is data monitoring. Data monitoring is Argano Audit and Security Manager's version of database logging. For this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and make changes to some data that we are tracking, in this case, vendor bank accounts. All right, so I'll select my vendor and select bank accounts. And I'm going to modify the bank account number here. Just add a digit, do the same thing for the routing number, and click Save. So in this scenario here, we have set up data monitoring on the vendor bank accounts because it's sensitive to our organization, and we want to track any changes made to this type of data. So to view the data, what we're going to do is navigate to the data monitoring log. Now that we're in the data monitoring log, we can see at the bottom 2 new records related to the changes that we just made. So we get a timestamp for when the change was made. We get the name of the user who made the change, the affected table and field, the change type, so in this case, an update to an existing record, as well as the legal entity where we made the change, and of course, the previous and new values. So we can see that I changed the bank account number and I added that digit here in the new value field, and we can see what it was before. And then same thing down here for the routing number. Now, a couple benefits to Argano Audit and Security Manager data monitoring is one, that we don't have the same performance constraints that the out-of-box functionality does. You can track a lot more data here without any performance impacts. But the other is that we have the ability to surface related or parent record information into our log. So what does that mean? Well, in this case, we're tracking changes to a vendor bank account, but we don't exactly know what vendor this bank account belongs to, right? And that might be a problem, or we'd have to do some digging to find out. So with Argano Audit and Security Manager, we can bring that information directly into the log here. So if I scroll to the right, we'll see 4 parent columns. We have the parent type, the parent num, parent name, and parent legal entity. So the type field is surfacing that this is a vendor, which of course we know it's a vendor bank account. But more importantly, in the num and name fields, we get the vendor's ID as well as their name. And that is valuable context into this change that we can just have right here in the log. Similarly, if we scroll up, you can see some previous address changes here. We can do the same thing, right? There's a lot of different types of party records in the system that can have addresses: customers, vendors, workers, contractors, the list goes on. And in this case, the type field becomes a lot more pertinent, right? We can show that this address change was for a customer, and then of course, show that customer's ID, the customer's name, and that customer's legal entity. To learn more about Audit and Security Manager and get a full demo of all the functionality, please reach out to us at info@argano.com.